Welcome everyone. Today in this section we are doing parallel and perpendicular lines. Well, I assume you know how to calculate the equation of a line if there is one point, there are 2 points, and if the gradient is given, but still we will be touching those basics, and after that I'll explain you the concept of perpendicular and parallel lines and we'll do some questions on it. But before that, I'm running the doubt sessions, GCSE batches classes for all the subjects. So if you want to book a demo, just email us at exactacademy@gmail.com. Or if you want to enroll for a new session from year 1 to 13 for all subjects, just email us at exactacademy@gmail.com and we will coordinate accordingly. If you want to access the free worksheets, free notes, you can just go to our website, which is www.exactacademy.com. And if you are an Android user, you can download the app Exact, which is on our Play Store. So let me start with the basics of the straight line. Straight line, the standard equation is y is equals to mx plus c. This is the standard equation. Whereas m stands for gradient and c stands for y-intercept. That means suppose this is your x-axis, x and y-axis, and this is your straight line. For this straight line, if I talk about the steepness, that how steep is it, that means what angle is it making with the x-axis, describes its gradient. Gradient is nothing but it's a slope. Gradient is also called slope. Slope, that means it tells you about the steepness or the angle with respect to x-axis, how it is making. Whereas y-intercept is the point at which the line is cutting the y-axis, which is this. Just by looking at the curve, we can calculate the equation of a straight line. Let me say this one. See this straight line. If you want to know the gradient, there is a simple formula of gradient. That means change in y over change in x. How much y is changing in order to move from one point to another point, and how much x is changing. Or in terms of coordinates, you can say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 will give you the gradient. So to calculate the equation of a line, we should have a gradient as well as y-intercept. From here I can say gradient is what? Let's say one point be 0, 3 and this point is 2, 0. So change in y is, let's say y2 minus y1, which is 0 minus 3 over x2 minus x1, which is 2, 0. So gradient is negative 3 over 2, negative 3 over 2 is gradient. And y-intercept is the point at which the line is cutting the y-axis, which is at 3. So I can say y is equals to, gradient is negative 3 over 2x plus c is 3. This is your equation of a line. By looking at the graph, it's very simpler. All you need to do is to calculate the gradient and y-intercept. Now, what if you have the points given? That means you don't have a graph. Instead, you have the points given. Before that, there is one more thing. The graph can be like this as well when you are not aware where exactly the y is going to cut the y-axis. See this part. You can find the equation when the graph is provided to you, but what if you have to do it algebraically? That means suppose it's given as that the gradient of a line is 3 and it passes through 1, 4, then find the equation of this line. So in that case, we always start with y is equals to mx plus c. We already have the gradient, which is 3. So I can substitute here y is equals to 3x plus c. The other constant that you have to calculate is c. Once you have that, we are done with finding the equation of a straight line. For c, we have this point 1, 4. So definitely every point on a curve satisfy that equation, because basically it's the locus. Locus, that means an equation that follows 1, 4, 2, whatever the points are there, it should satisfy. Satisfy, that means left hand side should be right hand side. So every point on that curve will definitely satisfy that equation. That means I can substitute y as 4 and x as 1. So this will be 4 is equals to 3 times 1 plus c. From here we'll get c as 3. So final equation of a line is y is equals to 3x plus 3. That is the equation of the line. Let me see when you have both the points given. This is when gradient and a point is given. Gradient and a point is given. What if you have 2 points given? In that case, we'll do when 2 points are given to you. Say for example, in this question, it says find the equation of a line which passes through 2 points. A is 1 comma 4 comma 5 and B is negative 7 comma 3. Again, whenever we are doing or like question finding the equation of a line, I'll start with y is equals to mx plus c. And my motive should be finding c and m. That's all. So m I can easily calculate. We know it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 minus y1, that means 3 minus 5 over x2 minus x1, that means minus 7 minus 4. So this will be minus 2 over minus 11, that is 2 over 11. So 2 over 11 is the gradient. Now I can substitute 2 over 11x plus c here. My aim is to calculate c. As I told you, any point that is lying on the circle, on the straight line or parabola, whatever the points lying on a given curve, will always satisfy that. So that means I can pick anyone. A will work, B will work, both will give me the same answer. So let me put value of A, that is x as 4 and y as 5. Substituting, I'll get 5 is equals to 2 over 11 into 4 plus c. 5 is equals to 8 over 11 plus c, and c is 5 minus 8 over 11, which will give you 47 over 11. So final equation of a line is y is equals to 2 over 11x plus 47 over 11. So this is when 2 points are given. Now there is a term or the whole specific topic that we are doing right now is when 2 lines are parallel and when 2 lines are perpendicular, then what will be the relation of those 2 lines? See. If 2 lines are parallel, see, this is line A, this is line B, and this is line C. Clearly, they all are parallel to each other. If I'm comparing their gradient is, I told you, the steepness or the angle they are making with the x-axis. Actually, gradient is tan theta. In terms of angle, is tan theta. So, if they both have same theta, that means they will have the same gradient. If you're going to compare, you will find that this angle and this angle is equal. So it doesn't matter if 2 lines are parallel, A is parallel to B and C, they all are parallel to each other. And you can clearly see they both are, all of them are inclined to the same angle. They are making the same angle with the x-axis, which proves that they all have same gradient. And if they all have same gradient, then what will be the condition when 2 lines are parallel? The two conditions that 2 lines are parallel is that m1 should equals to m2. Here I have given an example of the 3. If we are talking about the 2 lines parallel, their gradient should be equal. So they should have the same gradient if 2 lines are parallel. So this is the first condition. So I can write gradient of first line should be equals to gradient of second line. This is the condition of 2 lines being parallel to each other. The second one is when 2 lines are parallel to each other. This is the conditions when 2 lines are perpendicular. Well, there is a proof of it that if this is the angle that is theta, then this is 90 degrees, then this is going to be 90 minus theta, and here also 90 minus, this is 90 plus theta. But the thing is, then we'll calculate the gradient with tan theta, and you'll ultimately, on multiplying the product, you'll get -1. But It's not even in our syllabus, so leave just, and directly what we have to learn in our mind, that this is m1, the gradient of the first line, and this is m2, the gradient of the second line. Their product is -1. So m1 into m2 is equals to -1 is the, you can say, condition when two lines are perpendicular. So these two things you have to learn. When they are parallel, their gradient should be equal. When they are perpendicular, the product of their gradient should be -1. Now let me do some questions on it so that we can get a better idea. It says we have to find the equation of a line that is parallel to y is equals to 7x minus 3 and passes through 1 comma 2. Clearly, if they are asking for a line which is parallel to y is equals to 7x minus 3, that means we know the gradient should be equal. So gradient of that line will be 7, because if two lines are parallel, their gradient should be equal. So if the gradient of this line is 7, then the gradient of a line should also be 7. That means the equation will be y is equals to 7x plus c. Only we need to calculate c. It's the same, if you remember, just we did the condition when a gradient and one point is given. So this point is definitely going to satisfy it. So what I can do, I can substitute x as 1 and y as 2. So this will be 2 is equals to 7 into 1 plus c, and c is equals to -5. So final equation of line will be y is equals to 7x minus 5. Moving on to the next question. See this question. It says find the equation of a line which is perpendicular to the line 2y minus 3x is equals to 4 and passes through the point 2 comma 0. So again, if I want to find the equation of a line, I'll start with y is equals to mx plus c. And in this, my main aim is to calculate the gradient and the y-intercept. To calculate the gradient, I have the relationship that we have to find the equation of line which is perpendicular to this one. So I can get the idea of gradient from here. First of all, I should know the gradient of this straight line, which is 2y minus 3x is equals to 4. So 2y is equals to 3x plus 4, and dividing both the sides, because ultimately we have to convert into y is equals to mx plus c in this format. Then finally y is equals to 3 over 2x plus 2. Here I can get that the gradient of first line is 3 over 2. So gradient of second line is, say for example, it's let me take m dash. So m dash into 3 over 2 is equals to -1. This was the condition. The multiplication of both the gradient should be equals to -1. So the gradient of the line that we want to find is -2 over 3. So putting this value, y is equals to -2 over 3x plus c. Only we need to calculate c. For that we have this point, because this point is like lying on the line that we are finding. So y will be 0 and x is 2. So -4 over 3 plus c, and c is finally 4 over 3. So final equation of line will be y is equals to -2 over 3x plus 4 over 3. Let me see the next question. This question says find the equation of a line which is parallel to 4x plus 3 equals to y. That means at least we know the gradient is, what the gradient is going to be, and passes through the intersection of two lines, this and this. So if I graph it to get a better idea, suppose these two lines are this and this. This line is y is equals to 4x plus 7, and this line is 2y is equals to 7x minus 3. So it says we have to find the equation of a line which is parallel to this one and passes through intersection. This line should pass through the intersection of this one. Maybe this line is this one. Equation of this line we want to calculate, and this line is parallel to y. 2y is equals to 4x plus 3. So this line is passing through the intersection of these two, as well as it's parallel to 2y equals 4x plus 3. So first we have to write y is equals to mx plus c, and I can write the gradient. Gradient is, I need to rearrange this one to get the gradient. So divide both the sides by 2. I'll get y is equals to 2x plus 3 over 2. That means gradient is 2. So equation of this, let's say the equation of this be a. If we want to find the equation of line a, y is equals to 2x plus c. Only I need the coordinates now. If I'll be able to find the intersecting point of these two lines, I can put the value of y and x and get the value of c. If two lines are intersecting, that means they both are sharing the same value of x and y. If suppose they are meeting at 1 comma 2, that means 1 comma 2 will satisfy this equation and 1 comma 2 will satisfy this equation as well. And the one thing that we know is such thing is simultaneous equations, because simultaneous equations are the set of equations which shares the same value of x and y. So let me solve these two. So 2y is equals to 7x minus 3 and y is equals to 4x plus 7. And I am doing it with elimination method. So multiplying with 2, this will become 8 and this will become 14. I have multiplied by 2. Subtracting, I have eliminated the y. Sometimes students get confused whether I have to add or subtract. If you are adding, their sign should be negative, opposite, because on adding it will become 0. Your main aim is to make it 0. That's it. Why I have subtracted it? Because it was 2y and 2y. If I add them, it will give me 4y. I can't eliminate it. To eliminate, I need to subtract it. This will give me 0, subtract it. This will give me minus x, subtract it. This will give me minus 17. From here, x is equals to negative 17. If x is equals to negative 17, put it in either of the equation, you will get the value. And let me say y is equals to 4x plus 7. If I substitute here, then y will be 4 into negative 17 plus 7 minus 61. So the 2 points are negative 17 and minus 61. Negative 17 and minus 61 I need to substitute here. It's minus 61 is y and negative 17 is x. From here, this will be negative 16 plus 34 minus 27. So finally equation will be y is equals to 2x minus 27. This is the equation of a line which is parallel to this and passing through the intersection of these two lines. So basically that's it for today. I have just covered the basics of everything. This was all about the basic theories. In the next class, I'll be doing questions. So the worksheet will contain some simple to some medium to harder level questions. So that all will be doing, but first you all need to revise it. So that's it for today. In the next class, we'll be continuing this crash course. Thank you. Have a great day.